I wanted to do a different type of video this week. This video will be showing you how to make your own DIY Pinecone Fire starter. These fire starters are one of the things I made for Discovery Day Camp this year, and I have also used them myself on multiple occasions. They worked great for me, so I wanted to share them with you. These are very simple to make. All you will need are pine cones, scissors, a pot, a glass bowl, some sort of flammable string, soy wax, a spoon, and a cookie sheet. The wax can be found at a craft store or you can order it online like I did. To get started, we are going to melt our wax. We are going to make a double boiler, which is also known as a bain-marie. This will slowly melt our wax using hot steam. Fill your pot with 1 inch or 2 of water. You will want enough water to create steam, but don't want it to touch the bottom of your glass bowl. Put the pot on the stovetop and bring the water to a gentle boil. Place your glass container so it sits on top of the pot, then pour the soy wax into the glass container. How much wax you will need depends on how many pine cones you plan on doing. I used around 1 cup of wax for 5 pine cones and had a little left over. As the glass bowl begins to heat up from the hot steam below, the wax will begin to melt. I used the spoon here to move the wax around and make it melt faster. And eventually, with some patience and warmth, the wax will finally start to melt. While the wax is slowly melting, it is a good time to prepare our pine cone for later. Grab your string and cut around 1 foot in length. The string length will depend on the size of pine cones you gathered. You want enough string to wrap around the pine cone a few times. It is better to cut too much string than to not have enough. It can easily be trimmed. Next, we will want to wrap the string around our pine cone. As you will see, I don't really have an exact method for this. I do try to push the string into the pine cone so it will catch and stay wound when we dip it into the wax later. And once I get closer to the top, I start looping it around instead of just wrapping it. If it still doesn't stay secure, you can also tie a knot at the top to help your work from unwinding. Once the wax has fully melted, we are ready to start dipping the pine cones. Pick a wrapped pine cone and make sure the string is snug and not going to unwind on you. If you have enough wax melted, you could dunk your pine cone into the wax and completely submerge it. I didn't have quite enough to do it this way, so I used my spoon to thoroughly cover my pine cone with the wax. Once it is covered to your liking, you can set it on the cookie sheet to cool and harden. Keep in mind too that the glass bowl will be very hot, so be careful not to touch it. I like to do 2 coats of wax for my pine cones, but you can do as many as you would like. After the first layer of wax sets, I repeat the process again, and then set the pine cone back down on the cookie sheet to cool and harden. If you watch this clip closely, you will be able to see the wax cooling and turning white again at the base and the edges of the pine cone. It really shouldn't take long to dry. I would let it sit for at least 20 minutes before you move it, but once it cools, it is ready to use.